And as earlier promised, we have in studio today our guest on Sporty Monday Quickfire segment is Madam June Chepkemoi, the CEO, Chief Executive Officer of Kenya Tourism Board. And I tell you, my guest today is just a vibe. Off camera, she's just thrown the gauntlet. Karibu sana, Madam.
Asante.
Good to have you.
Pleasure. Yes.
First of all, you are a Ghana, right?
Oh yeah, and we are winning.
We are winning the title.
Yeah, imeenda.
Ifikie rombaya kama Zita.
Waturo chafu.
Kama Lindsay uko juu.
Mazuri. We are taking it.
We are taking it. Good. Now, I think you were itching to chime in on that discussion regarding women football. Yes. Probably your thoughts? I mean, conversation around we are not telling the story, we are not. The question is who should? We must look at sports as a business, as a country, and structure the clubs in a manner that can attract private sector funding so that they can run. I was giving you an example of Arsenal. The value has gone up. Why? Because it is being managed in a manner that you can put in money. And of course, as everybody is aware that we are taking the cup, that's why the value has gone up, and money is being pumped into that club. We should see the same happening to our teams locally, be it rugby, be it soccer, be it athletics, and so forth and so on. The role of government in sports is very limited. We need to sit back and ask ourselves, how do we manage sports generally so that it brings money? What is sports? It's actually marketing. It is a marketing platform where businesses come and showcase themselves, and that's where the money is. Secondly, we need to also educate the fans. Private sector will not put money in a sporting activity that will turn into a political rally. You are killing it, let's face it. I cannot put money in an event that people start throwing stones and fighting. And that has been our archives here for so long. As we sit back and ask ourselves, what is the role of FKF, what's the role of government, we also need to ask ourselves, how should we educate our fans so that we are able to then support the growth of sports in a very organized and coordinated manner? Absolutely. I'm sure that's not what I came to. And now, let's go to it. You sit at the helm of Kenya Tourism Board in that boardroom. Yes. And for long, we've actually even discussed this and complained. I don't think we are doing enough to our sports tourism as a country. There's a lot that goes on, a lot that we don't market there. Apart from our world-beating marathoners and the Manyalas, the Eliuds and Faith, there's a lot more that needs to be exposed, to be supported, to be told to the world. We haven't done enough there, Madam Chepkemoi. Very true, and I like the fact that you've started with our athletes, Faith, Eliud, or Manyala. Where do they play? Out of the destination called Kenya. We have a role to bring numbers into the country. And so our investment is more on what is happening in the country because we need people to come. I'll give an example of WRC Safari Rally. Which is coming around the corner. Yes, that happens every year in Naivasha. Last year alone, we had over 400,000 spectators. That is money. That is revenue coming to the economy. We have neighbors coming, we have people flying into the economy to watch the rally. Look at what happened in Nyayo over the weekend, and so forth and so on. So we are marketing Kenya as a sports tourism destination. We are telling the world, come and watch the Safari Rally. Come and feel the energy of rugby. Come, because the idea, how do you make, why do we even promote sports as government? Not just talent nurturing and you know, and income to the players, but also to the economy. We have to stimulate spend. We have to see money coming into the country because of spectators. We have golf, Magical Kenya Open coming up. Do you know sports tourist spends 3 times a leisure tourist? Yet a leisure tourist spends an average of 270,000 when they come into the country. Multiply that times 3. So that's why we get involved in this activity. So it's not just about showcasing. It's about the value that we bring into the economy. And to agree with you, there's more we need to do. More we need to do. And I want to take you to the shores of Lake Victoria. If you've been to that region, you go to Homa Bay, go to Budalangi. And we see this a lot during Christmas festivities. Actually, in Budalangi, we have boat racing. And if you realize, boat racing is actually an Olympic sport. It's just that we give it a fancy name there. Yeah. We have talented boys.
What do you call it?
People like Shitera who can paddle, basically. Yeah. Yeah. And you see, we never make it to the cuts at the Olympics. Now, go again to Western Kenya. Bullfighting has been here with us, Madam Chepkemei, for quite some time. We haven't harnessed it. This is probably a gold mine that can bring the tourist here, without saying the word wazungu, to come and watch our bullfighting in Kolomani. In Spain, actually, bullfighting is quite big. It's a tourist attraction. It rakes revenue for the government. What is your body doing about this? Is it a concern? What's the roadmap?
It is.
How soon can we make this viable?
It is a concern, and I'm happy you've brought it up because Kenya Tourism Board markets. There's something called product development. Now, developing bullfighting, boat racing to a viable product that you can sell is what is lacking. At times, we want to sit back and argue that marketing is the problem. It is not the problem. The problem is packaging the product in a manner that I can take to the market as a market.
Which our sport entities are not doing.
We are not doing it, and all of us are not doing it. The county has a role in terms of developing that product. The national government has a role, and also the private sector also will come in if they see money. So we need to sit back and ask ourselves, how is boat racing organized as a product? So that I will put it in my calendar and say, come to Kenya every December, go to the shores of Lake Victoria and enjoy boat racing. How is bullfighting organized as a product? Because there are so many things. We will not bring a tourist, and by the way, it's both local and international, to an activity that we are not guaranteed of the experience. I like giving an analogy of wine. A marketer will sell you wine, and they'll sell it to you in different terms depending on what it is they are selling, whether it's aged, whether it's sweet, whether it's... That's the product. But before I get it to sell, somebody somewhere has brewed it. There is a farmer somewhere that is farming in the vineyard to give me the quality I'm looking for. So somebody else has a role to play in building that product for market, so that it's market ready. And that is what we are attempting to do, working with the Ministry of Tourism and the county government and the private sector to ensure that our even sporting products are ready. We have calendars. Someone has mentioned about advertising. We have calendars on time so that visitors can book and know that they're actually going to travel to Kenya for this activity.
June, listening to you, I think there's a big mismatch.
Yes.
From corporate, and you are in the media before, and you understand what it takes. Our federations, I don't think they really understand what it takes. You are talking of packaging this product.
Yes.
Probably from where you sit, I think maybe it's an initiative issue. Could you probably have sessions with these federations, because we are talking of bullfighting, we are talking of paddling or boat racing, we are talking of our big athletes, and we've tapped onto these athletes because now they're big stars. But beneath the surface, we have more Eliud Kipchoge who want to come to the fore, more Faith Kipyegon, and so on and so forth, more Manyalas. Actually, Manyalas has broken the glass ceiling, and we are seeing more people trying to embrace sprinting. Don't you think it's a high time probably you take the initiative, have these conversations behind boardrooms or conferences with the federations and say, look, this the roadmap we are having, this is the plan we have. We want to make now bullfighting a sport in Kenya, register it, make this product attractable, and market it. Probably.
Correct, yeah. And we've started with the FKF. The current leadership is open. They're now involving us in most of their activities. We are highly involved in Magical Kenya Open, the golf, and that's why you're seeing the value that we are getting as a country. We are involved in WRC. Actually, we are already marketing in Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, and we even have buses going into those countries to bring funds to the country. But back to the question you asked, you said we, as a country, we are renowned as an athletic powerhouse. Yeah. But show me one international athletic event that happens in Kenya, similar to London Marathon. Because that's where the value is.
Probably what we have is keep
What we have is the talent, right? A Kipkeino Classic. We have the talent, but are we harnessing as a country? So that let's not look at what have we done with our talent? What have we done with Eliud? What have we done with Faith? What we've done is not enough. And pumping in money to make them brand ambassadors is okay, but it is not enough. We need to get to a point where we are hosting a major marathon that is in the calendar, where the entire world is coming to run with champions in Kenya. If they come to run with champions in Kenya, we'll get millions of people in our country, and that's value to the entire ecosystem.
And of course, these talents don't sprout out of nowhere.
No.
There has to be enabling environment.
Correct.
I don't know, from where you sit as a marketing body or sports tourism and as a whole, you walk across the length and breadth of this country. And take our top sport, athletics, for instance. We don't have even facilities for sprinters. Every time akina Manyala wanalalamika, Nyayo imefungwa, they have nowhere to train. You go to the athletics hub, that is the larger Rift Valley, and again, the same problems come to the fore. How do we ensure that we leverage not just on the brands, that's the athletes, but also on the facilities that we have? Some time back, I know you're aware of the back and forth we had regarding the naming rights of Nyayo Stadium, and that also goes into this tourism and sports marketing.
Let me start with the naming rights. You know, that's where the money is, because you bring money to the clubs when you allow a corporate to now take up those naming rights, so that we have enough money to take our teams to train and take them to boot camps that have been mentioned. But our populace have are not empowered enough to understand that naming rights is part of the business of sports. So we also, me and you, we have a long way to go, and we are happy to have this conversation to even just educate the populace on how the business of sports. But I would like to say this. If I was to advise an investor today, I'll ask them to put their money in sports. The future of sports in Kenya is bright. Why do I say so? The number of stadiums that are coming up in the country from the grassroots and the excitement and the, curiosity that Kenyans have, and now the curriculum. Our education system for the first time has introduced sports as a pathway.
Yeah, sure.
The future is sports, and now more facilities are coming up. I think with the conversation we should be having is, how do we manage these facilities going into the future? Maybe there is need for partnerships, PPPs, so that the infrastructure that government has put in place, such as the stadiums, can now be managed and an arrangement that can commercialize it and bring revenue to it. That will see us hosting more bigger global events, and private sector will put in money to host and to ensure that we actually drive the number. So I think we are in a good space. In the next 5 to 10 years, you'll begin to see the impact of the infrastructure investment that government has put in place in sports, in the talent, and now the building, the growth of talent from high school going up.
So beyond athletics and beyond the big sporting events, of course, we are hosting the Magical Kenya a few days from now. After that, it will be Vroom to Vasha.
Yes.
And actually, we always have global audiences running into billions, people who follow the Safari Rally. And actually, that's one of the toughest legs. So beyond Eliud, beyond Faith, beyond Safari Rally, beyond Magical Kenya, what's your body, KTB, doing to market Kenya as a destination hub, not just for our beaches or the Masai Mara? And I think sometime back you guys took Eliud Kipchoge to the Mara. What other avenues or opportunities are you guys looking forward to?
So we have seen the data coming globally showing that at the moment sports tourism stands at about $500 billion in value, and it's estimated to reach $1 trillion by 2032. What are we doing as a country to show, to really tap into that revenue. What that tells you is that adventure tourism is growing because sports is really adventure. So as Kenya Tourism Board, we came up with a property called the Magical Kenya Trail Series to go across the country to showcase the hidden
really
gems.
Have covered quite some of it.
Yes, yes. And we are hoping that it can go beyond the traditional adventure to now boat riding adventure, to bullfighting adventure, to horticulture adventure, and so forth and so on, because that's the future. The current tourist is no longer interested in just coming to sit by the beach. They're active. They want adrenaline rush. You see, Nganya, we've introduced the Nganya culture. We are marketing the Nganya culture. And we are seeing Nganyas exiting the airport, something that never used to happen before. So innovation for on new products is ahead of even regulation. So we just need to sit back and ask ourselves, how then do we streamline this Nganya business because it touches the common man?
And talking of sports into the curriculum, right now we have that in CBE, competency-based education. In the West, sports is big, but I think it also calls for, I'll call it a mental change, because growing up, and I'm sure you're not very much, we are almost in the same age bracket, our parents didn't really buy into this business of sports. Mzazi akikupata unacheza mpira pale, unacheza na masomo. So it was, you need to do well in your books, be a daktari, be a lawyer, and so on and so forth. In the West, sports, it's big. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. You see how big EPL is in the UK. You go to the US, NBA, National Basketball Association, American football. Whenever there's action, NBA action, the cities come to a standstill. The sale of tickets alone, an NBA ticket goes for as high as 100,000. Look at how that, what would that do to the economy of those countries? And imagine if we had here somebody paying 100,000 for a ticket. You go to the World Cup. I saw this in Doha. A World Cup final, a ticket going for as far as 1 million Kenya shillings. People are paying. Yet back home, guys are still lamenting about paying 200 shillings to gain entry. Some want free access. And this actually coming all together, the issues of hooliganism, you've seen it. We can't really have sports grow and even sport tourism become big if we still have these cases.
Correct.
What do we really need to change in terms of the mental shift among even the populace and probably even the sport lover in the country?
We need to sit back, all of us, all the stakeholders who are a beneficiary of sports, including tourism, media, and government and private sector, to first of all educate the fan that we need order. And order is what will make the team grow. How do you make the team grow? Because there'll be money that will support the team, support the club, and by extension, the player. So that is important, because no brand will put their money where they are not sure of what will happen in the pitch. Will there be a fight? Will there be political chance? And it's unfortunate that now our politicians are taking advantage of sports events, such a global international event, to also get traction. We are destroying the sport. We are not building it. So it's high time we speak to that and agree that sport is a business, that we have to structure it in a way that our federations are very predictable, they are run professionally, and our clubs are run professionally. The day we have the Kogelos, the teams owning stadiums, however small, then we will have hit it right as a country. And traditional jobs will no longer sustain our economy. We need to break out, and that's why tunasema talanta, ni pesa. So how do we grow that talent when we run it professionally? And you talk about growing up. I grew up in Chemelil. And of course, I used to participate a lot in athletics. I was actually a marathoner. And one day my mother told me...
The beautiful hills of Chepsaita.
Yes, I took you to school to study, not to run. Of course, I had to stop because there was no clear path to how do you grow your talent. Yet, I saw some of my classmates. I remember a gentleman called Victor Taco, who was in my class. We were in class 6. By the time I was in class 7, he was playing for Chemelil. And we saw how his life changed, because Chemelil, the company was doing so well. So football was well funded,
they had
it was well managed.
Professional football club, yeah.
So joining the Chemelil club meant that you are actually at a level of supervisory in a government parastatal. You know, that's a salary. Our fathers were not even living that life. So any young person who could be inspired to want to play for Chemelil, they want to play for Agro, they want to play for Mumias. So we need to go back there where the young people will be inspired to want to join sports as a career path.
And of course, talking of that education, this needs to partnerships with the media to get that information out there.
But you haven't spoken to me about tourism. I think I've ended up dealing with sports more than tourism.
Maybe in your final remarks, in the interest of time, maybe you have that chance to tell us what to look forward to, even as we host Magical Kenya, as we host Safari Rally, in light of tourism.
We are looking at tourism events as an avenue for us to hit our targets. Remember, we have a target of bringing $1 trillion to the economy by the financial year 2027-2028. That can only be achieved if you have bigger, mega activities. What are they? Sports is one of such events that will bring numbers into the country. So we are looking to leverage sports for both volume, that's the numbers, and value in terms of spend. So going into the future, you'll see us supporting more of sports activities, branding it more, marketing it more, and more so out of Kenya, so that we push the numbers to Kenya. A lot of time we are told that we are not doing enough in the country. I know we can do enough, because 70% of our tourism is actually domestic, but we also want the dollar. So you find us spending a lot of time out of the country, pushing the numbers into the country, because we believe that that dollar coming into the country is going to support the economy, the balance of trade, and more jobs. As I close, I'd like to explain the value of tourism. When you land at the airport, if you've flown out of the country, as you land, there's always a Kenyan that is ready to receive that aircraft and open the door. That's a Kenyan, that's a job. There are always others clearing your luggage. As you exit, there's somebody ready to clear you and stamp your passport. Out there, there's a driver waiting for you. Even if it's your car, it was fueled in a gas station in the country where a Kenyan is employed. As you check into your hotel, there's a security guard to check you. At the reception, there's somebody, a lady, a gentleman ready to receive you. There's a welcome drink by a chef, but that drink is made of a farm input. A farmer somewhere in Kirinyaga, in Nandi, has brought that vegetable or that fruit to that hotel. You have not touched your lunch. You have not touched your room where there is someone who's cleaned it, someone who's done the laundry.
So it's a big
So we estimate that one tourist employs 11 people.
Wow. Good stuff.
That's the value of tourism.
Good stuff. Thank you for making time
for
the program.
Yeah.
That's Madam June Chepkemoi, of course, the CEO of Kenya Tourism Board. She says, long live the Gunners. Of course, the title race is tightening, and in the second hour, we're going to delve into that, including matters Bundesliga. So stay tuned. This is Sporty Monday.
What is this, Itaraga?